Hello and welcome to the PvA Nightly Rundown for September 24th, 2019. This is episode 53. I am your host, Luke Croft, and this is the nightly gaming news show where I run you through all the gaming news that you may have missed throughout the day so that you don't look like a fucking idiot at the water cooler tomorrow. And guys, today, much like yesterday, just a smorgasbord of gaming news. We got a lot to get to tonight, so strap in for another long show. I believe last night we went about an hour and a half, and tonight will be absolutely no different. Most likely, we have not one but two direct style events, one coming from Sony, one coming from Xbox, that we will talk about this evening, plus Final Fantasy VII Remake box art revealed, power armor helmets being recalled, and an interesting investigation into an Australian Overwatch Contenders team. Stick around for that. But yeah, happy Tuesday, everybody. Hopefully you had a wonderful day. Guys, today was still hot as fuck. Don't mishear me when I say this. I'm having an awful hair day also, just so you're aware. Today was still hot as fuck, but the heat broke around 4:30 today, making way for a light breeze, a cool air, feeling like fall. I'm not allowing myself to get excited because I'm about to check. Let's see. High tomorrow is supposed to be, drumroll please, oh, only 85. Much lower. Today was like in the 90s. So, yeah. Anyway, terrible hair day. So I do my hair up on Tuesdays because I go into the office. I go into the bathroom after getting a shower this morning, dried my hair because I got a thick mess. It's a thick mop up here, guys. And so I got to dry this beast before putting any product in. Well, I go over to my, I use this like styling paste that like has a matte finish so it doesn't look all shiny and greasy and stuff. Open it up. Almost completely out. I had about half of what I normally use, so it's fallen out, plus the humidity of the day, and I sat outside all afternoon on the phone talking to people, and so it's just DFO'd. I don't care. You guys can deal with it. I'll deal with it. I look crazed. I mean, I did sit through 2 events today, watching them, jotting down all of the shit that was revealed, and so yeah. I'm a little all over the place, but it was a good day today, guys. I always get excited anytime we have events like this, regardless of the fact that I think people tend to feel underwhelmed by these after they happen. But I think if you just kind of sit back without expectations and let them happen to you, you're going to get a lot more out of them. Let's see. So, yeah, this is the PvA Nightly Rundown, though. We do this every single weeknight over here on twitch.tv/PvA Radio, except for Wednesday nights, because that's when we do our show, the namesake of the channel, PvA Radio, which is where me and 2 other guys get together and we have an in-depth discussion about some of the biggest gaming news stories of the past week. But yeah, if you can't catch it live over here on Twitch, you can watch it the very next day over on youtube.com/PvA Radio, where we break it out topic by topic. I'm trying to decide what I want to do tonight. I think I want to break this out by topics within the main topic. So we may have some PvA Nightly Rundownception, all right? Some segmentception tonight. So I may just have like, hey, the Sony State of Play breakdown video, and then break that even down into even smaller videos, where I talk about The Last of Us and the Call of Duty Modern Warfare story trailer, things like that. So we'll figure it out, though. Who knows? May not do that. That's a lot of fucking work. The more I talk about it, the more I'm like, it's a lot of work. But our system on YouTube is this. We're gonna game search. All right, we upload like 5 or 6 new videos a day, and we hit a couple times a week on ones that get pretty good traffic. And so it's a numbers game for me. It's like, hey, we're already producing the content over here on PvA on Twitch. Let's just repurpose that same content, push it over on YouTube, let YouTube figure it out. How many other channels do you know uploading 5-6 videos a day covering the shit that you care about? Go subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, the button is somewhere around here. I think it's down here. Maybe here. Anyway. Hope everybody is doing well. You can also watch the show in its entirety over on YouTube. I don't know if I mentioned that, but we do break it out topic by topic as well. We got a lot to get to tonight. I'm drinking lemon lime Gatorade tonight, so no beer for me. I know that we're in for the long haul tonight, and I want to make sure that I'm well hydrated, well prepared. Got to restore those electrolytes, get my body ready to bring you this news. All right, got to give the people what they want. A little bit of housekeeping tomorrow. PvA Radio, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time over here on twitch.tv/PvA Radio. Be there or be square. I look real fucking weird without glasses. I rarely, if ever, see myself without glasses because I'm always wearing them. I got beady little eyes, man. I got little eyes. I got a giant ass head, and the glasses don't make me any more attractive, but they balance me out at least. I don't look really fucking weird when I have them on, but I look really fucking weird when I have them off. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. So yeah, be here for PvA Radio tomorrow night. Don't know what our topics are going to be. I imagine we will talk about State of Play and Inside Xbox tomorrow. Probably a higher level rather than announcement by announcement. And then, probably talk about a few other things as well. Also, I believe September is still going, so you can subscribe to our Twitch channel for half the price, so $250 for the price of a brand new sub. If you have not subscribed to our channel yet, that goes directly back into making content better, buying stuff for the stream, helping to improve the quality, goes to hosting fees for Podbean, those kinds of things. So yeah, think about subscribing. It's greatly appreciated if you do. But yeah, that's all the housekeeping I got. Let's jump into it. And let's get this night started like we get every night started with the games that are releasing today. And since it's Tuesday, the games that are releasing tomorrow as well. Big day today. A lot of shit hitting the store today, and actually also tomorrow as well. So as always, we pull this from Kotaku.com, Zach's Wise in the Week in Games. You can check out all of the stories that we use, links to the stories that we use on the PvA Nightly Rundown by typing in ! show notes in the chat if you're hanging out over here, or check out the description in the video below if you're watching over on YouTube, and there is a direct link to the show notes there as well. Releasing today, The Surge 2 on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I know a couple people in my Discord and that have come by the chat have said The Surge 2 pretty fucking fun. We have Contra Rogue Core. Sorry, I almost said Corpse. Rogue Core on PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. The Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition Pack on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast on PS4 and Switch. Planescape Torment Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition, whatever the fuck that means, on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition on PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid on PC. Cat Quest 2 The Lupus Empire on PC. Dead by Daylight hits on the Switch today. Flying Girl Striker in all caps. So sorry. Flying Girl Striker on Switch. Breeza Budgie Bill on PC. Flying Gwyn Station on PC. Hexon on PC and Mac. Noita on PC. Spellcaster University on PC and Mac. And Dosk on PC and Mac. Guys, a lot of weird fucking titles coming out today. What the hell? I'm gonna turn my phone over because I keep getting notifications, keep getting distracted. A lot of weird names. Breeza Budgie Bill, Flyscape Torment / Icewind Dale Enhanced Edition, Hexon, Noita, Flying Gwyn Station. A lot of weird shit going on today. Those are all your games releasing today. Coming out tomorrow, we have Sally's Law on Xbox One, Constructor Plus on Xbox One, Rex Rocket on Xbox One, Mario Kart Tour finally releases on Android and iOS, Home Sweet Home Episode 2 on PC, The Long Drive on PC, Hooklings on PC, Solitaire Game Halloween on PC and Mac, so get your spoopies on in this terrifying horror rendition of the game Solitaire, where you grow old and realize you are all alone. Viking Brothers 6 on PC, Tank Nova on PC and Mac, Snow Island on PC. That is your wrap for the next 2 days. Those are all the games coming to all platforms on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week. We'll pick it back up on Thursday when we return with the PvA Nightly Rundown for that day. Guys, I am feeling it. I am ready to go with some gaming news. I hope you're strapped in. Don't know even how many items we have on the list because, again, I don't know how I want to break this video down. But let's go ahead and jump into the news. First item on the list, there was a Sony State of Play today with announcements. I don't want to say it was a lot of announcements. It really wasn't a lot of announcements, but we saw some trailers. We saw a trailer for a really weird clash of black and white versus color characters in a game called Humanity. Looked really, really strange. Let's see. We saw a game called Wadum from the makers of Katamari. We saw a new game from Techland called Arise. Civ 6 making its debut on PS4. A lot of big news. So we're going to just go through. Kotaku put this rundown together. Everything PlayStation announced today. Oh my gosh. And yeah, they just kind of and we'll watch some trailers as we go through here. This is going to be, I don't really have a ton of like structure planned for this. I don't want to hit with the biggest news from this yet, but so yeah, we hit on Humanity. Let's actually pull up that trailer for Humanity. I should have linked to this because it was just it was a weird way to open the show. It was kind of like the cold open. Humanity PS4 trailer. So yeah, there's a PSVR mode included in it, but yeah, these huge crowds of people run at one another, and I guess you're trying to get them from one point to another. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a puzzle game, a sorting game. But yeah, so this is how the show opened with this trailer. Really, really strange. But it looks cool. I don't know. It piques my interest mostly because I have no fucking clue what it is. Running off of high dives in the sky. And now they're fighting one another with... Do they have lightsabers or something? Or like glowing batons? They've got guns. Yeah, anyway, you get the basic gist of it. Really, really fucking weird game, but so that's how they opened the show. And then they got into the I accidentally screwed something up over here. After this trailer, they showed the Call of Duty Modern Warfare story trailer. Which had previously leaked earlier in the day. It had been posted on Reddit and then made its official debut during the State of Play. Let's actually watch this entire trailer together. I watched this State of Play while I was working, and so some of this stuff I didn't get to pay very close attention to. I'm really intrigued by what Activision's going to be doing with this story. Because, you know, their whole thing is like, we want it to be realistic, we want it to be gritty.
A business trip. Let's talk. How?
Because of this poison, my people have no in war.
Help us track him.
If you stay, we can help. But if you stay, you fight.
Hell or not.
The invaders of my country, God for life. We live like this every day. Any further complications and we're at war.
So it seems like you're like kind of behind enemy lines, doing some clandestine work for people who are being oppressed. You're trying to stay quiet because you don't want to create an international incident.
No? How about you, Captain? Are you gonna let them die?
I don't know. the trailer looks great, and the story seems somewhat compelling, but I don't know. I've been saying this since the day that it came out that Call of Duty was going to take a more serious approach to this. Like, I just don't know if this is the game for it. Like, at the end of the day, it's going to be all about big explosions and cool set pieces and epic moments in the gameplay. And I'm like, I just don't know if they can bring it to ground to make it say what they want it to say, or if they even know what it is that they want to say, except for, war fucking sucks.
You are the target.
But this, I'm willing to give it at least a chance. And then obviously it ends with hey, pre-order it now so you can get these cool fucking perks and stuff. Yeah, I'm willing to give it a chance to be good. I'm really, it's probably the first Call of Duty campaign I've been interested in playing in years, because I think they're doing at least a good job of setting up what they're wanting to do, and I'm just interested on whether or not they can execute on that. But even in the trailer, like some of those contrived moments where the guy looks at you and he goes, "Captain Price, it's up to you," or "What are you going to do? Are you going to let him die?" And it's just like, I don't know. I want narratives like this to not be so on the nose. Obviously, in situations like this, the storytelling should do a good enough job of making me understand the weight of what I'm being asked to do, without having to point out that there is weight and gravity towards it. But I don't want to draw too many assumptions off of the trailer. The voice acting seems really good. It's really fucking cool to see Captain Price back in a game. I think the premise of the story is really interesting. This kind of unique bond between Captain Price and the second kind of main character, whose name is Farah. So yeah, we'll see. The game comes out in October. That'll be interesting. Let's get to another different piece of news from the Call of Duty announcement that has been a little bit more ill-received, and I think rightfully so. They also announced that there's going to be a special ops survival mode included in the game that is going to be exclusive to PlayStation 4. It's going to be a timed exclusive to PlayStation 4 for the first year of the game. So for the first year that the game is out, only PlayStation 4 players are going to be able to play the special ops the special ops survival mode. And that's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. And I think it's rubbing me the wrong way too, man, because Call of Duty has made a really big deal this year of being like, we want to bridge the gap between platforms. They're coming out with the cross-platform play. That they beta tested that over the weekend. It looked really cool. You're playing based off of your controller type rather than only Xbox players can play with Xbox players and PS4 with PS4. And they made a really big deal out of saying like, hey, we're getting rid of the timed exclusivity, the month wait from when a map releases on the PlayStation 4 to when it ultimately comes out to Xbox. And like their messaging has been surrounded by this like central theme of unity. We want to unify these platforms. And so for them to like sell out on this one mode, and not only sell out and say, oh, it's exclusive for 3 months or, a reasonable amount of time. It's like, hey, if you were playing on Xbox or PC, you will not be able to play the special ops survival mode probably until the next fucking Call of Duty is out, and nobody will care. I don't know. I think you've won so much goodwill with your fans with the crossplay, with the new 2v2 mode, with the dropping the exclusivity of new maps and expansion content. You have so much goodwill if you're Activision at this point. Why squander? Okay, I understand why you would squander that, because I'm sure PlayStation pays a lot of money for this exclusive content, but because without crossplay, you got to incentivize people to play it on your platform somehow if they own multiple platforms. And so yeah, I understand why you would do it practically, but I just think from like a goodwill standpoint, Activision, I feel like most of the conversation around Call of Duty has been really, really, really positive for the first time in years. In years, remember, you guys remember a few years ago, I can't remember exactly which call, I think it was Advanced Warfare. Or maybe it was Infinite Warfare, was the most downvoted YouTube video at the up to that point in time. To go from there to the way that the conversation has kind of spun, at least among the general public, about Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. I don't know. I think it's like night and day difference the way that people perceive this franchise right now. And I think it's all because of cross-platform play and all because of them trying to break down those barriers. So for them to artificially erect a new barrier that just makes no sense and make it so unreasonably long. We have a common theme on PvA radio where we're like, we want to sit in on that boardroom and just see, was there literally anybody who sat in there and thought, hey guys, maybe this wasn't a good idea? Like, was there Captain Obvious in the room? Or was it just, all right, and Sony is offering us, next slide, that much money for it to be exclusive? And everybody was like, all right, no words from the peanut gallery. Like, take the money and run. Seems like a ill-advised move. I'm using that word because I think boneheaded might be too strong, but I might think boneheaded. So yeah, another interesting tidbit from the Sony State of Play. They and this was something that they did in the first State of Play with a lot of focus on VR. They also, introduced some VR titles in the second State of Play. And then they announced the LA Noire, the VR case files, was out today on PlayStation VR. And then they did a small VR sizzle reel in the middle of this. And I thought that was really interesting as well. Like, Sony has such a bad track record with other platforms and peripherals that exist kind of orbitally around their main console. We're talking, PlayStation Eye, PlayStation Move, PlayStation Vita, in terms of how they support it. And I think it's interesting that PlayStation is constantly coming back and touching VR and saying, look, we're still here. We're still invested in this in some way. And we still want to make it seem like we're putting a lot of resources into this. And I think they're really holding off because they got big plans for this technology moving into the PlayStation 5. And that within the first 2 years, I would argue, of PlayStation 5, we're probably going to get a new iteration of PlayStation VR. I think there's just so much sunk cost into this now. At this point, Sony has to will this thing to last. And I just think VR sales are probably really, really, really soft. Like, what does it take for a VR title to be successful in terms of units sold? It can't be that many. Like, people who are making LA Noire, the VR case files, I'm sure the people at Rockstar aren't looking and being like, all right, we're trying to sell 1 million copies of this. But what is that number to them? Like, all right, guys, let's sell 100,000 copies. Do you think it's even lower than that? Like, I honestly don't know. Like, we can probably find the sales number for VR, but do we know anything about the engagement numbers for virtual reality? And I think that that's a fan base of the people who are into it. They're into it and they want to play as many experiences as they can. But is Sony coming in and supplementing any money that maybe lost in sinking time into developing these games? Like, how sustainable long term is what they're currently doing with VR, I guess is what I'm asking. And I just think it's interesting. I think it's clear that Sony has a future plan that's already well in motion. And that's why they keep coming back in these events and touching VR and saying, hey, we're still here. We're not PlayStation Vita-ing this thing where we just pretend like it doesn't exist. So, LA Noire, the VR case files, and a VR sizzle reel. There's a Medieval demo that is out now that you can play, and if you participate in that, you get, I think, an exclusive in-game helmet that can be worn when the full game releases. Another announcement for Civ 6 it'll be making its debut on PlayStation 4, and then they showed off this cool Well, I don't know. Cool may not be the right word. PlayStation 4 limited edition Death Stranding bundle. This was the short little 30-second trailer they showed. This dude seems pretty legit. I know he's supposed to be the villain in the game, but like he just gave us a fucking, not just a PlayStation 4, guys. Let's rewind a little. Think about how big this thing's got to be. Hold on. Keep coming back here. Like, just think about the scale of this. He launched those tendrils into the air. That PlayStation controller has to be about 40 feet tall. So, I don't know. Is this a giant-ass PlayStation 4 Pro? Let's see. They got some images down here we can look at. It's got the cool handprint. I love the black, white, black alternating aesthetic of the console as well. The translucent gold kind of paying homage to BB is pretty dope as well. Is this an etching into the touchpad or is it a sticker or like a decal? Oh. If it's an etching, that's cool. I feel like with other games, they've used decals on the touchpad, and that has not been as cool. I don't know. I don't. This is definitely not my favorite of the PlayStation 4 Pro special editions. You know, the navy blue. What was that? The however many sold, 20 million sold or whatever. Was really cool, or 100 million sold. I can't remember what the number was. Maybe hold on, let me look that up. I don't want to get that wrong. Was it 50 million? PS4 Pro 50 500 million, is that right? Oh, because it was 500 million PlayStation units sold. That's right. So it's this one. The Spider-Man one was really dope too. Yeah, this is, I like the console. I like the connection between the console and, you know, I mean, between the controller and BB, but I don't know. I don't like that there's anything really visually that connects the two thematically, except for the fact that, you know, if you played Death Stranding or are aware of Death Stranding, you know they're both connected to Death Stranding, but the controller looks so different from the console. I wish there was something tying them together more than just, oh, the name's etched on the front here and it's etched here as well. So that's going to be $399 releasing on November 8th. So you can pre-order those now, I believe. Then they showed an after party trailer, which I'm excited about that game. We've talked about that game already, coming out later in October. And then they announced that MLB The Show 19 and The Last of Us Remastered are going to be October's PS Plus games. I'm pretty pumped. I'm a huge baseball fan. Normally I buy the MLB The Show game, and for some reason this year I just never pulled the trigger. I was waiting for it to go down to $20, but now it's going to go down to $0 on PlayStation Plus. So I'll definitely be picking that up. And then, of course, The Last of Us Remastered, because the way they ended the show was with a trailer for The Last of Us that I am not going to show. And in fact, I'm going to remove a bullet point from the show notes because it is spoilery. Because I know a lot of people are at the point with this game where they're like, stop showing me shit. Don't want to see anything. Don't need to see it. Get that shit out of here. Let me just play the game. And so I paid attention to the trailer once. I didn't like particularly intently watch it or anything like that because I'm in that boat too. I don't really want to know. And in fact, I'm disappointed that I watched the trailer today because it showed me something that I really didn't want to see. I was interested, however, in the final frame of the video, because the final frame saved me from having to eat a very hot ghost pepper on the stream. And that was when they announced a release date. It is going to be coming out February 21st, 2020. I was a week off. I said it was going to be the 14th. It was a Friday because it was a Friday. They released Horizon Zero Dawn on the 14th. I just thought it would be cool. But no, it's going to be the 21st coming out. There are actually 5 different editions of the game that you can pre-order right now, and we'll look at those here in just a second. But let's talk about the release date for a minute. It's been long rumored that the game is coming out in February, so there's no real surprise there. I think Ashley Johnson let something slip that the game was going to be releasing in February. There's been other leaks that have been substantiated. There are other substantial leaks that have come out in the past few weeks as well. So that's no surprise. I've been seeing a lot of people, though, going, oh, man, well, Naughty Dog doesn't ever hit the first release date. It's like they've been very, very cautious about not really giving any indication of when this game comes out. This isn't the same as Uncharted 4, where they announced a date way too early, then had to adjust and then had to adjust again. Like, this is not that instance. I think Sony is taking great care with the end of their generation. They're keeping their cards close to the vest because they want to make sure they're not having to push these things out. I imagine this game is probably pretty well ready to go gold at this point. A couple more months of polish on this thing, and then it'll go gold sometime in January. So I don't think that we're going to see this date move. And knowing that they changed the calendar for Death Stranding to accommodate The Last of Us, I think gives me even more confidence that they're going to hit February 21st, 2020. So yeah, I'm not in that camp. Not in that camp of they're not gonna hit that date. It's gonna be moved again. It's too important for them to hit that date because they need to have that few months before the hype for PlayStation 5 starts, so that they can then rotate back and say, oh, and we've got The Last of Us ready for a remastered version ready for release on that as well. Interestingly enough, this will be on 2 PlayStation 4 discs. It's going to be the longest game in Naughty Dog history, so that's pretty cool. That is not what I wanted. I wanted to open this link, the blog, the USA, the PlayStation blog article. So this is where we have the editions outlined here. Let me scroll through, make sure none of the images are spoiled. Okay, yeah, we're good. So here's your first edition. If you pre-order, you get ammo capacity upgrade, crafting training manual, blah blah blah. In the full physical game, or if you pre-order it digitally, you get the digital version, obviously, and then you get an exclusive avatar for The Last of Us Part 2. It's Ellie's tattoo. So that's just your standard edition if you pre-order with the pre-order bonuses. So. Here is your special edition, so you can pre-order the game. And I don't know, man. I kind of want to purchase this game physically because I really want the steelbook. I'm a big steelbook guy. I love a good steelbook. But yeah, you get the steelbook, you get the 48-page mini art book from Dark Horse as well as your the content from the previous version. Love how these images are hosted on Flickr as well. The collector's edition, it includes your steelbook, the 12-inch Ellie statue that, I don't know, just from this picture, I don't think it doesn't look all that great. It doesn't look very, the face especially doesn't look very Ellie-like to me. But you get the 48-page mini art book, you get Ellie's bracelet, you get the lithographed art print and thank you letter, which I think is really fucking cool. You get the set of 5 stickers that includes 2 Naughty Dog 2 Last of Us Part 2 and Ellie's tattoo, and then you get the 6 enamel pins as well. And you get this cool box that if you're like me, you'll never throw away if you were to get it. So that's the 3rd version of the game, and that retails for $169.99. So that's $170. The Ellie edition is $229.99. It comes with everything included in the previous, plus the 7-inch vinyl, the logo pack, which I guess is logo patch, which is this right here, and you get this sweet ass backpack with the pins on it as well. So that is your Ellie edition, and then there's a digital deluxe edition, which is $70, and that gets you that gets you all this in-game content. All this digital content, the theme, the avatar, the mini art book, the digital mini art book, the digital soundtrack, those sorts of things as well. Which one do I want? That's the question. Which one do I want to spend money on? I really honestly think I may just pre-order the physical special edition to get the art book and the cool ass steel book. How much is this? Ooh. That retails for $79.99. $79.99 for that version. I may do that. I may buy the game physically, which I never do, ever. Although I really don't want to play it on 2 discs. I understand one will probably be an install disc and then the other will be an unlock disc, but I just don't want to deal with it. I just want to download it and be able to play it as soon as it comes out. But our long wait, the long night is over, guys. We have a release date for The Last of Us Part 2. I don't have to eat a pepper. February 21st, 2020. I am so excited. My hype cannot be measured for this game because I am just certain that the game is going to be good. Overall, I saw a lot of negative reaction to the Sony State of Play. A lot of people kind of disappointed. A lot of rumors were swirling. We were going to get Batman news. We didn't get Batman news. A lot of smaller games that people care about. People didn't seem to really care about or connect with. And what people have to understand is like, look, these things aren't fucking E3. And Sony has been very, very measured in letting you know that not to expect E3 levels of announcements at these things. Or E3 volumes of big announcements at these games. I'm sorry, at these events. Like, look, they could have just come out and showed me a 20-minute countdown and at the end gave me the release date without even showing me a trailer for The Last of Us, and I'd have been like, all right, that's good. Yeah, I'm satisfied. I don't know, man. As gamers, we just need to, just be happy. Be happy about the shit that it is a fucking random-ass Tuesday in September. And we got not one, but 2 events where announcements were made. Just fucking chill, all right? Just fucking chill. Sony State of Play, though. A lot of cool stuff announced. We get a release date for The Last of Us. February 21st, 2020. Need to go ahead and put in my PTO. Oh, no, it's a Friday. I don't need to put in my PTO. Oh, my gosh, guys. I get every other Friday off, and I can do the math right now to figure out if I'm going to get that Friday off. Let me pull up my calendar. All right, so February 21st, I may be switching Fridays off if I... Oh my gosh, I'm working that day, but it's okay. I can switch my Fridays off. I'll switch my Fridays off so that I can be off on the 21st, play The Last of Us Part 2, not get spoiled by any candy-ass internet trolls. Just shut myself down, and play that game all weekend. May not be a PvA Nightly Rundown that night. We'll see. So that was Sony's State of Play. Let's move on to Inside Xbox. Let's talk really quickly about Sony's State of Play format. They said they were going to come back with a new look, and I think there was a little bit of different visuals that they threw in. But at the end of the day, I thought it felt very similar. Disembodied voice, It had the little scrolling slide to tell you okay, and now on to our next announcement. And it just feels really disconnected. And I think that's a part of the reason that people feel disappointed in these is because it's so focused on the actual announcement itself. And when those announcements don't hit or they seem underwhelming, it just magnifies it because there's no cool shit in the middle of it to make up for it. And so I don't know. I still feel like from a tone perspective, the State of Play doesn't really hit for me. I think there are more interesting things that they can do with this time that they're making the Sony fan base stop and pay attention. And so I was a little underwhelmed by because they were we're coming back with a visual overhaul or a new look or however they put it a couple days ago. And I don't know. It still felt very same to me. So yeah, let's move on to Inside Xbox. And we can start there with kind of that same theme to bridge the gap. I really enjoy the format of Inside Xbox. they don't have the most compelling announcements. There's not a ton of shit there that you're going to get really, really hype about. But I love that it's cheesy and some of the dialogue is a little cringeworthy, but it's people that work for Xbox that are having fun working for Xbox and have fun putting on the event. And they're talking about games, they're announcing and revealing the trailers, and then they're getting to sit down and actually have conversations with the creators of the games as well. And I just think Sony could take a page out of that book. Like, make this longer than 20 minutes. Give me some content in the middle where I can actually care about. Like, you show me a trailer, and this has been Sony's issue, I think, over the last few years when it comes to E3, when it comes to when it came to PSXs. Like, they were so hell-bent on being like, we need pace, we need great pace, boom, 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 trailer, to where it really just became like a YouTube playlist that got played during these events. And I just don't really connect with that. Like, you can step back and you can look at a long ass list of stuff that was revealed over the course of 20 minutes and be like, I really only cared about one or two of those things. Whereas if you take the time to highlight the creators of these games, let them talk about the games, I'm probably going to be much more interested in them. There was a game, I'm trying to see if I've got the name for it written down anywhere here. I don't believe I do. But there was a game where they did a like showcase of the creator for it. The game's all about death, but it's placed in this really happy setting. And I was like, I would not have connected with this had they just shown a trailer. But the fact that they brought one of the creators in and did this feature video on him and talked about it, like, man, I'm really I'm excited about this game now, or I'm interested in this game now. Game about death inside Xbox, because I want to make sure that I actually give you the name here. Felix the Reaper. In fact, let's watch this trailer, guys, because we don't have to watch the whole thing.
Death
but
is dancing on some historical images, and that seemed
but
so
like,
much fun that we thought.
You see, it's not just, hey, look at the gameplay.
It's funny to look at, and it immediately says, make a game about me.
But you connect with the creator, with the concept, things that I don't think necessarily get communicated very well in a 1.5-minute long trailer. You get to see this cool ass art style.
Supposed to look. Felix the Reaper is a shadow manipulation puzzle.
And they have these interstitials where they put in gameplay. I don't know. I connect with this style a lot more. I think that Sony could really take a play out of that playbook and say, and make state of play more engaging. So let's see. Let's hit on some of the big announcements at Inside Xbox. The big thing they wanted to talk about was Project xCloud, which will have a public test that's coming in October. You can go to the website now, sign up for it. They're picking a limited pool of people out of the people who request access to it. It's going to be available for Android users to start, and you will need a wireless Xbox controller in order to participate. And it's going to feature Halo 5, Gears 5, Sea of Thieves, and Killer Instinct, and you'll be able to play games on both Wi-Fi and cellular. So, yeah, it's going to be xCloud's first step out into the public light. I think it's interesting that I think it's cool that they're starting with obviously their own games with a pretty sizable test that they said they're going to continue to add people to as it goes on. Hopefully they're going to add devices as well. And yeah, so I'm interested to see how this plays out. I think that they've taken great care in messaging this, helping people to understand it between this and the, turning your console into a server, those two different ways that xCloud's going to be able to operate. The way that the xCloud public test is going to work is all you need is your Android mobile device and a wireless Xbox controller, and you'll be able to play it. You don't have to tether to a console. You're not turning your console into a server. So I think it's cool. I need to talk Larry into signing up for it because he's the only person who has an Android phone that could possibly do it. But as soon as they announce it for iPhone, I want to jump in and try it too. I'm really interested in streaming. I'm interested in how this performs. I have unlimited data on my plan as well, so I'm really interested to see how does this work on cellular. Can it is it really possible to achieve good quality, good latency, good responsiveness on a cellular network? I don't know. I'm interested in trying those things out. I think Killer Instinct's an interesting choice to include in the 4 games that are going to be made available on this, because fighting games are the pinnacle of latency and responsiveness for games. And if you can play a fighting game on this platform, regardless of the connection type or regardless of the device that you're on, then I think in a lot of people's minds, like, that's the proof that's in the pudding. Like, oh shit, Killer Instinct feels good to play on here, so everything probably is going to feel good to play on here. Definitely not going to feel as good as playing on console with a hardwired controller or whatever, but for what this is, it feels good. And so I think that is a conscious choice of them to make. Speaking of wireless controllers real quick, I ordered the Fortnite controller, the Fortnite purple controller. Very fucking disappointed in this thing. And I know it doesn't really come across in the video here, because my color is just real bad on the camera anyway. But I ordered this controller because it was purple, and I really like purple, and I thought they did a really cool job of making it look purple. But I don't have a black Xbox controller, but I do have the black Switch Pro controller. So putting these side by side, it's really hard to tell the difference between these colors, right? Like, you can see a little bit of like a tint difference between the two, but ultimately, like, they chose such a dark purple that it almost looks black. And so I don't know. I've got it out. I'm like holding it, debating on whether or not I want to keep it. May end up sending it back because I was a little disappointed in it. But yeah, Project xCloud, you can sign up now. They'll reach out if you have been selected to be a part of that public test. They also announced the Atlas pirate MMO that was released on Steam, I believe, earlier this year, will be coming to Xbox in October as well. That was a really weird section. It's really weird. They showed the trailer and I was like, wait, is this Sea of Thieves? Like, there were a couple instances, especially like when they showed the part of the trailer where you're digging in the sand. I was like, that map looks a little different than what you see in Sea of Thieves, but the digging animation and the way that you find the treasure looks almost exactly the same. And I just kind of like scratched my head. And what made it even weirder is that they acknowledged the similarities. And they were like, we know what you're thinking. Don't you guys already have a pirate adventure game exclusive to the Xbox? It's called Sea of Thieves. Well, this is different. It's a little bit more of a hardcore pirate simulator, but they look so alike next to one another that I was just like, this is a really strange thing to highlight. Like, what audience is going to look at that who hasn't been playing Sea of Thieves and is going to be like, oh, damn, yeah, I'm really, really interested in Atlas. Like, if they feel like there's an untapped pirate market, don't you think it makes more sense for Microsoft to continue to lean into Sea of Thieves and the additional content that's coming out for that game rather than to highlight Atlas during one of their bigger events of the latter half of the year? Their big event before moving into XO19. I don't know. It was a strange move. The game looks cool enough for what it is, but yeah, you've already got a pirate game. Why are we highlighting another pirate game? Then I took this from the Kotaku article. Let me make sure I know who. From Chris Kohler. He just gave a rundown of all the trailers and footage that were shown during the live stream. Children of Morta, which is a cool like not squad-based roguelike, but a roguelike where you play as different characters. Looks really cool. It's out now on PC. It's going to be out on October 15th on Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Code Vein comes out on September 27th. They showed another trailer for the Outer Worlds, which, I mean, I know it's from the original creators of Fallout, but the trail, like, I don't know how I feel about this. Like, I'm excited for the game. I think it's going to be cool, but the marketing is so Fallout-esque, and I'm not just let me pull the trailer up for this real quick. Let's see if they have it embedded in here. They don't. So let me Outer Worlds trailer. Let's see if we can find the one from today. Sorry guys, I don't know why I can't find it. I can't find it easily. Oh, here we go. The Outer Worlds deep dive, developer deep dive.
On the frontier of space. Are you searching for exciting off-world?
We're not going to watch the whole 8 minutes, obviously.
Can you pass a basic aptitude test?
But isn't this very Fallout-esque? Like,
where prosperity awaits you
that,
in
like,
the stars.
50s, 60s informational video. I don't know. I'd love to see, and then as you're just watching the gameplay, a lot of the animations, you know, there seems to be a VAT system in this game as well. And I understand that you're the original creators of Fallout, but Fallout still exists. And despite... Sorry, let me stop this because it's really loud. And despite the stumbling of Fallout 76, there's still a very big fan base for Fallout. And the general public aren't going to look at this and understand who created it and who these people are. And, like, I think you just kind of have to toe that line of, I'm not calling it a ripoff, but there are going to be people who look at that and they're like, man, this is a real, this shit's a real Fallout ripoff. I just think you got to be more careful. Let's see. The game still looks cool, and I'm still going to play it when it comes out on October 25th. They also showed a trailer for After Party and did a interview with one of the developers. They showed Tropico 6, which comes out on September 27th. They showed a Ghost Recon Breakpoint trailer and then another interview with John Bernthal, which John Bernthal is just fucking cool, guys. If you don't think John Bernthal is cool, I'll say it. There's something fundamentally wrong with you, all right? John Bernthal's cool. There's a beta this weekend. Full game, obviously, hitting on October 4th. I was wrong about it coming to Game Pass. Sorry. Hitman's 2 Haven Island expansion is out today. So there's your Hitman 2 information, which I thought was just another weird thing to really highlight. And then new DLC for Ace Combat 7 comes out on September 25th. And there's a new map for DayZ called Livonia that'll be coming soon. They also announced there's an Xbox One X and S bundle that include Forza Horizon 4 and the Lego expansion that released sometime after E3. They also announced some new games that are going to be coming to Game Pass. Let me make sure I've got those here as well. Jump Force, Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and Lego Worlds are being added. And then on PC, City Skylines, Saints Row 4, Bad North, and Dirt Rally 2.0. They also announced there's going to be an Xbox Game Pass app update that'll help you to control your user interface. And then they announced some indie titles as well, including Genesis Noir, Lonely Mountains Downhill, which looked pretty fun, and then a game called Demon's Tilt. And then they're going to show off the rest in an ID at Xbox Game Pass video on September 26th, which is Thursday. So, yes. A lot of cool news coming out of, I mean, I was engaged with the Xbox Game Pass. There was obviously no, like, get hype moment, like the Last of Us Part 2 trailer and release date. But at the end of the day, like, I know that Xbox has a lot of things that are happening in the background right now. They've got a lot of individual studios that are working on new unannounced games, and I just trust them. But I think it's important for them to have these touch points, these regular communications, and I think they're setting up and establishing a communication rhythm that is going to certainly pay off when we get into the next generation and a lot more of these acquisitions games come to fruition. So yeah, it was a cool event. There's not a ton of news, I don't think, to talk about from it. There's a lot of trailers coming out, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm not a guy that connects really well with trailers for the most part. Like I'm more interested in, like, people who talk about the games, you know, or big, like, deep dive events like the Ghost Recon Breakpoint thing we got a few months ago that kind of dove into some of the mechanics. But I just don't really connect with, like, all right, here's a 2-minute trailer for this and a 3-minute trailer for this. Like, I want to see more. Next item on the list, guys. Final Fantasy VII Remake box art was revealed today, and also some new screenshots as well. This is from Kevin Nezovich over at GameSpot. So yeah, let's just pull this up. Here's the tweet that has the box art revealed here. Looks pretty cool. I don't have a ton to say about this. I'm not a huge Final Fantasy VII fan, so I can't point this out and be like, well, if you look up in the fourth fucking window and zoom in real close, you're going to see the asshole of somebody, and that's a spoiler for the fact that they're going to really pay homage to this section of the game. I'm not going to be able to do that for you because, but what I can do is point out something that Jason Schreier pointed out in a tweet that I thought was interesting. There's nowhere on this game that says on this box art that says Part 1. I imagine that situation will be rectified before this game fully releases, because remember, Final Fantasy VII Remake not going to all be in one fell swoop. It is being broken up into different sections, different parts, and yeah, that may be a little misleading with people who aren't keeping up with the news on this and go to see this game on a shelf somewhere, and they're like, oh shit, Final Fantasy VII Remake, the whole thing, and they purchase it, and then they get to a third of the way through the game, and they're like, well shit, where's the rest? Where's the rest of it? And they're like, shit, they got their box open, they're like shaking it, and they're not finding any more game. So yeah, I think that'll probably be updated, but I mean, yeah, box art's cool. Box art matters much less today than it has in the past, because we're buying our games digitally. I'm sure you could show me. Let's see. Let me think of a game, a popular game. God of War. You can probably show me 3 different concepts for the God of War box art that are pretty distinct from one another, but all believable. And I don't know if I could pick out for you which one is the actual God of War box art. And it's a game that I love. It's a sad truth of where we are today, though. I buy physical games for my Nintendo Switch and nowhere else, so I really don't care about box art. I just walk past the game section, like the PlayStation game section, when I go to GameStop. I'll like look at the accessories and the collectibles, but I'm not really looking at games there. So yeah, I think with and that used to be the big deal with sports games as well. Like, oh, who made it on the cover? It's like they were showing MLB 19 today, MLB The Show 19 in that in the State of Play today. I was like, I used to be able to tell you like a list of everybody who was on the cover of all these games. Like I don't even know. It's Bryce Harper, by the way. But I was like, I don't even remember who's on the cover of this fucking game, because covers just don't matter as much anymore. But this is a game that I think a lot of people who, even though they buy games digitally, they'll buy this physically. But there's going to be some steelbook, some collector's edition, and that won't be the box art that they get. Next item on the list. The power armor helmet that came with the special edition of Fallout 76 has been recalled. Actually, there's an update here. Okay, let me read the update first, because this is new to me. I read the article earlier, but I don't know when this was updated. This is from Ben Bayless over at DualShockers. It says, this update clarifies the items that are being recalled. In the original story, I was under the impression the helmets in question came as a part of the Power Armor Edition. It has come to light that the actual item in question was a GameStop exclusive helmet only. I failed to locate official listings online and apologize for the confusion. I've also edited the original story to confirm this too and avoid confusion. Additionally, a statement has been provided by Bethesda and reads as follows, quote, the helmets that are being recalled are not from our Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition, but are instead a different line of helmets sold exclusively by GameStop. The Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition helmets are unaffected. Consumers should visit the product recall page for instructions if they have... Oh, I think I just broke this cord because I'm only getting monitoring out of one ear. Sorry, guys. Consumers should visit the product recall page for instructions if they have purchased the GameStop helmet, end quote. So, okay, well, there's your clarification. There was a recall that was issued by the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission because a certain material used on the interior of these GameStop exclusive Power Armor helmets is susceptible to mold that can cause and give potential mold exposure to people who have compromised immune system, damaged lungs, and allergy and are allergic to mold. this makes this story so much shittier that it was misreported to begin with. And look, it happens. I think that we need to be more careful, especially for a game that has taken as many fucking lumps as Fallout 76. So to say, like, the people who got the collector's edition of this game had already been shat upon multiple times, right? between the bag issue, between the fact that Fallout 76 was just a flaming pile of garbage, between the PR fallout from the bag issue, no pun intended with the word fallout there. So if they would have had the power armor helmet impacted as well, like, oh my gosh, how fucking shitty would that be? Still shitty for anybody who spent money on the GameStop exclusive helmet, but I don't know, man. This game can't win for losing. And it just cranks back up the meme machine, baby. It doesn't matter that the facts have been changed. Like, we see Fallout 76 negative shit on it, and it's like, oh man, we all over this train now. Oh man, sucks to be Bethesda. Sucks to be them. But I mean, look, some of these recalls, like, sometimes there's just no way of knowing. There's no way of knowing if what you did, what you put in it, what you made it out of is ultimately going to fail, especially for stuff like this that's like, oh, you're quickly deciding what it is that you want. You're quickly developing it and getting it out there. Like, I don't know. This shit happens and it sucks. But yeah, so if you ordered the GameStop, if you own the GameStop Power Armor helmet, go to that website. Check it out. Last item on the list. This one's a weird one. Police are reportedly investigating an Australian Overwatch Contenders team linked to organized crime and match fixing. This is a report from Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon, who is actually a really big name in the esports world, a really great esports reporter. It says, an Australian Overwatch Contenders team is under investigation for alleged links to organized crime. Australian news site ABC reported yesterday. Police in Victoria, Australia's Sporting Integrity Intelligence Unit, told ABC that, quote, betting anomalies, end quote, were reported for an Australian Overwatch Contenders team match. There are 8 teams participating in the Overwatch Contenders event: Athletico, Ground Zero Gaming, Legacy Esports, Melbourne Mavericks, Mindfreak G, Order, Sydney Drop Bears, and Warriors, but the team under investigation was not named. Quote, there's no test of a fit and proper person to be engaged as an owner of an esports team, end quote, Victoria Assistant Police Commissioner Neil Patterson told ABC. Quote, we are seeing people encroach on that area that have reputations that mean they probably shouldn't be involved in this part of esports, end quote. Patterson added that 2 Australian players reportedly, quote, told their associates to bet on the fixed matches, end quote, according to the ABC report, which was spotted by Kotaku Australia this morning. Polygon has reached out to Blizzard Entertainment and Victoria Police about the investigation. And then, for context, she mentions in August, multiple Counter-Strike Global Offensive players were arrested in Australia during the ongoing match fixing investigation. ABC's latest report suggests 6 players were arrested during the investigation so far. Patterson said he expects, quote, dozens more, end quote, could be implicated. The report also noted that up to $30,000 could have been won in games involving match fixing. This story is just wild, man. And Australia already has a contentious relationship with video games and video game culture already. And for esports in their infancy to go through a scandal like this in Australia, I think it has massive implications for its widespread adoption and mainstream adoption in the country itself. And so, I don't know. It's shitty. In any kind of sports and competition, there's always going to be gambling. But for a scandal like this to impact really what is Australia's highest level of Overwatch representation, I don't know. It's just going to send ripples throughout esports. But what we have, though, are companies who are launching these esports and having these official leagues without the infrastructure and the ability or the know-how to closely monitor these things, and look, it shouldn't need to be stated, but to clearly outline how they hold people accountable in these sorts of situations as well. But yeah, for this to, because these are official Overwatch. I mean, Overwatch Contenders is a sanctioned league from Blizzard. It's basically the minor leagues of Overwatch League, and so there's some accountability that needs to be had from Blizzard. And Contenders tends to be something that they just kind of let exist out in this, orbital space around the Overwatch League, and they don't pay much attention or give much credence to it. And so for them to just and so for something like this to happen, I would hope means that Blizzard is going to take more responsibility, hold these teams more accountable, and not that they are going to distance themselves from the tier 2 scene in the Overwatch League in order to distance themselves from the scandal. I don't know. It's a weird story. I'm interested to see how this plays out, both from a legal perspective, but also in the esports perspective as well. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for tonight's episode, and we actually only took an hour and 5 minutes to do it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. We're actually going to end the stream here as well. Appreciate you guys tuning in, though. Stopping by on Twitch, watching over on youtube.com. We do this every single weeknight except for Wednesdays over here on twitch.tv/PvA Radio, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you tune in. If you can't catch it live, watch it on youtube.com/PvA Radio the very next day, where we break it out topic by topic, or you can watch the whole show in its entirety. Until next time, though, guys, we love you. Have a great evening, and goodbye.